Good morning. Well, good morning, everyone. How wonderful to see you all here on this lovely, happy first day of March. And thank you for the summer warmth that is beginning to pervade our lovely home here in the desert. Record high temperatures. Yep, welcome to Tucson. I'm Chris Tack, and I'm your music director and lead polar bear wrangler around here. And it's my great pleasure to welcome you to Mountain Vista for Sunday morning. It's so great to be here together. Take a second, double check, make sure you have your phone set to church mode or congregation mode, whatever works for you. Just shh. We have a whole lot of wonderful things for you this morning, and I am super excited to get underway and have you meet, among other things, one of the finest musicians and greatest people I've had the chance to work with. I'll tell you more about her in a little bit. And also a great, great Sunday morning to be here and be together. So welcome.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Samar Adi. I am today's practice associate. Welcome to Mountain Vista Unitarian Universalist Congregation. We are a community of scientists and seekers, mystics and humanists, atheists and activists. We gather not because we believe the same things, but because we choose to journey together. We come from both secular and faith backgrounds, and we bring our individual selves and beliefs into this space. As UUs, we don't center a creed, we center covenant, one that calls us to stay in relationship, to navigate our differences with courageous love and remain open to being transformed by one another, which is much easier than it actually is to stay in conversation with each other. And so wherever and whenever you are, and wherever and whenever you are joining us from, you are welcome. Let's wave to those joining us online and those who will be joining us later. Thank you. Today we're fortunate to be joined by our guest artist, Namoli Brennet, whose music invites reflection and spaciousness. We'll be hearing more about who Namoli is shortly, but Chris Tackett, our music director, Reverend Matthew Funkrary, our settled minister, and myself will be speaking and supporting throughout the service. This service and this community is held up by many hands. Our hospitality and welcoming teams who welcomed all of you and who will be offering refreshments for after the service through those doors. We've got our AV crew who do all their tech magic up there throughout the service, as well as Stacy, our RE director, and her group who take care of the kids. Our temporary congregational administrator, Kalia, and of course, as I mentioned, our talented music director, Chris Tackett. And these are just a few of the many, many folks who go into making this congregation run throughout the week. So the future is feminism this month, a lens through which we explore liberation and the sacred worth of every person. So today's service is primarily musical, and music has always been one of the ways movements for justice have used their voice. So as Namoli and Chris lead us through this morning, I invite you to listen deeply and to reflect. Feminism, especially intersectional feminism, asks us to pay attention to whose voices are heard, whose stories are centered, and how we show up for one another's liberation. And today's music offers us a way to feel that in our bodies. We light this chalice in honor of the women, femmes, and gender-expansive people whose wisdom has carried liberation forward. May we remember, as Joy Harjo writes, that we are woven into everything. Today's chalice lighting is by Joy Harjo, Remember. Remember the sky that you were born under. Know each of the stars' stories. Remember the moon. Know who she is. Remember the sun's birth at dawn. That is the strongest point of time. Remember sundown and the giving away to night. Remember your birth, how your mother struggled to give you form and breath. You are the evidence of her life and her mother's and hers. Remember your father. He is your life also. Remember the earth whose skin you are. Red earth, black earth, yellow earth, white earth, brown earth. We are earth. Remember the plants, trees, animal life, who all have their tribes, their families, and their histories too. Talk to them, listen to them. They are alive poems. Remember the wind. Remember her voice. She knows the origin of this universe. Remember you are all people, and all people are you. Remember you are this universe, and this universe is you. Remember all is in motion, is growing, is you. Remember language comes from this. Remember the dance, language is, that life is, remember. Blessed be.
Here we have gathered side by side, circle of kinship, come and step inside. May all who seek here find a kindly word. May all who speak here feel they have been heard. Sing now together this our heart's own song. Would you rise with me and sing? If you grabbed a gray hymnal off the shelf in the back, it's number 360, Here We Have Gathered, and of course, the words on the screen as well.
Small and great, we of all ages, women, children, men, infants and sages, sharing what we can, sing now together this our heart's own song. Life has its battles, sorrows and regret, but in the shadows let us not forget. We who now gather know each other's pain. Kindness can heal us as we give, we gain. Sing now in friendship this our heart's own song.
Longer ago than I think either of us want to admit, 20-some years, I was directing a little community choir here in town called Desert Voices. I had just taken them over. They were just recovering to the point where we could hire a separate accompanist, a pianist, again. And so I put the word out, and I got a couple of applicants. And one afternoon, I held auditions. I heard 3 different pianists. All of them were competent. All of them were good players. All of them were decent people. But one brought a lovely folder that had their CV, resume, a little lovely cover letter with everything exactly in the right way it was supposed to be, plus a CD of their own original songs. All 3 of them were approximately equal in ability as pianists. I was very impressed by the portfolio. Then I put the CD in. To say I was blown away is putting it very lightly. And that's how I met Namoli Brennet. She went on to work with us with Desert Voices for a few years after that. She wrote a lot of music for us, studied composition in college, among a whole lot of other stuff, I'm sure, and she'll tell you more about it. But it is my great pleasure to introduce to you the incredible Namoli Brennet.
Thanks. No pressure. It's funny, I remember that audition because a lot of times I've never been able to do things like just by the book. Like I'm not a great reader at the piano, but I kind of just throw all my skills out there and say like, what about this? And I was really grateful when that happened because I actually had just been fired from a church in Tucson because I transitioned as a trans person, and I had just lost that job and was desperately trying to find a place where it wouldn't be an issue for me to be a trans person. And so Desert Voices was such a great blessing to have happen. So I'm going to do a few songs here, and these are all settings of poems. And I do write lyrics and things, but I just felt inspired to do this a few years back. And this is a poem by E.E. Cummings. And it's called, I Thank You, God, for Most This Amazing. I thank you, God, for most this amazing day, for the leaping green leaf spirits of trees, and the blue true dream of sky, and for everything which is natural, which is infinite, which is yes. And I who have died am alive again today. This is the sun's birthday. It is the birthday of life and of love and wings, and of the gay, great happening illimitably earth. And how can tasting, touching, hearing, seeing, breathing, and eat, lifted from the no of all nothing, human merely being, doubt unimaginable you. And now the ears of my ears awake, now the eyes of my eyes are opened, now the ears of my ears awake, now the eyes of my eyes are opened, now the ears of my ears awake, now the eyes of my eyes are opened, now the ears of my ears awake, now the eyes of my eyes are opened, now the ears of my ears awake, now the eyes of my eyes are opened, now the ears of my ears awake, now the eyes of my eyes are opened, now the ears of my ears awake, now the eyes of my eyes are opened, now the ears of my ears awake, now the eyes of my eyes are opened, opened, opened. I thank you, God, for most this amazing day, for the leaping green leaf spirits of trees, and a blue true dream of sky, and for everything which is natural, which is infinite, which is yes. Thanks. Feels early for me, which is a little sad because it's a 10:30 service. Also, I'm going to apologize because I feel like I picked songs that were really like pretty on the mellow side, and I think it might have been like morning when I was emailing Chris. I was like, I don't know, I'll just do these songs. It seems like that's all I can manage. So they're maybe a little bit sleepy. This is a setting of a poem by Emily Dickinson. The poem is called "Hope is the Thing with Feathers." I like getting in touch with poets because they often are people who have complicated lives and have lived through difficult times, and it kind of puts in perspective that things that are happening now have happened before, and we've made it through them. So. And hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings a tune without the words, never stops it all, never stops it all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and so must be the storm that could have bashed the little bird that kept so many warm, so many warm. And hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings a tune without the words, never stops it all, never stops it all. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, and never in extremity it asked a crumb of me, of me. Sweetest in the gale is heard, and so must be the storm that could have bashed a little bird that kept so many warm, so many warm. 'Cause hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul, without the words, never stops it all, never stops it all, never stops it all. Thanks. Thank you. I'm going to do one more song in this little set, and this is was a poem that was written after World War I, actually, and I think the poet is A.E. Robinson. I might not be getting it. Shouldn't I know that? It's A.E. Robinson, I think, and I was just talking about this time after this devastating war where there was like such gratitude for the people and their sacrifice and their bravery, but also such mourning for the cost, and that we're still, as a species, resorting to this as a way of solving problems. And it's so relevant today, isn't it? The song is called "The Dark Hills." Dark hills that evening in the west, where sunset hovers like a sound of golden horns that sang to rest, old bones of warriors underground. Far now from all the bannered ways, where flash the legions of the sun, you fade as if the last of days were fading and all war or use underground. Far now from all the bannered ways, where flash the legions of the sun. You fade as if the last of days were fading and all wars were done. You fade as if the last of days were fading and all wars were done. Thank you.
We gather as individuals with our ears awake and our eyes open. We gather as a Unitarian Universalist congregation, as Mountain Vista UUs, to build an open-hearted, welcoming community where we work together in covenant to transform ourselves and our world through love. Engage, love, transform, our chosen mission and purpose. And our ceremony of purpose then is for us to remember. Remember that as a people we engage in the sorrows and the joys of one another's lives. Remember that as a congregation that we face the difficulties and the challenges of being a community and a religious institution with love as our guide. Remember in a world that is terrible and is wonderful, that we will transform ourselves with our shared values and our actions. Remember. We take up stones because stones are strong, like the earth is strong, to hold all that is in our hearts. A stone for all of the innocence all of those who have been injured and hurt and killed in these current attacks in the Middle East. And we lay it because this is the world around us. And we pour on that our community, the waters we have collected from Sonoran skies, from bubbling up from springs in the ground, from taps in our homes. This is our congregation, and we would pour ourselves out into that world. And then we take up other stones, stone of joy. Kim Lager has told us that her son Dylan is home. Dylan, who has been in the hospital in Banner over a month, after a procedure, continued to help get fluids balanced, and then they left and they had to return very quickly in another couple of weeks. They are home now, and their family is with them. Dylan just wanted to be home with his brothers and sisters, visiting with Kim, with Roy. And so this is the joy of family. We take up other stones because there are many things among us that we don't have the words for. Words that might speak to our grief. These stones can hold it. So offer these stones your grief, your brokenheartedness, your sorrow. And know that as we drop them into our congregation, our community, we engage and we love and we transform that grief into joy. We take up more stones for fear, anxiety, concern. I feel it. I feel it when my sons call me, worried about a war that may grip our entire planet. Put your fear into these stones. They can hold it, knowing that we then put them into our congregation. And our fear becomes trust. For your anger, for your outrage, for a fire in your heart. Because we are a people who will take that and we will turn it into a passion for justice and for action. And for the confusion, for the powerlessness, for the doubt. These stones can hold all of that, knowing that when we share that among us, that it becomes the possibility for the new, for a future we have not yet imagined, but a future we are here to make together. For our joys, for our sorrows, we engage, love, and transform together. And leading us in this is our Pastoral Care Committee. Pastoral Care Committee is listening. Listening for your joy, listening for your sorrow, so that we might individually respond and then lead our congregation in celebration or in comfort. Our board of directors is listening as well. Today, after this service, and again on Monday, we will be holding meetings to talk about financial misconduct that has occurred within our institution. Come with your questions. Come with your concerns. Come with your fear and your anger and your powerlessness. And we will together engage love and transform. And Mountain Vista Unitarian Universalists, with our ears awake and our eyes open, we are listening. We're listening to the cruelty, the violence, the brutality of people with power in our world, in our country, and yes, even here in our local community. We are witnessing. And we are hearing the suffering. And it's in our own hearts as well. It's a lot. And until I come here, until I'm with you, it sometimes feels like too much. But remember, you are not alone. Remember, our congregation is a place and a people of comfort and of celebration. Remember our purpose. Remember, we are in solidarity with our thoughts and our prayers, but most of all with our actions, so that we can do what we're called to, engage and love and transform. May it be so, because we choose it to be so.
We are here, we are together, and we sing. Would you rise with me and let's sing our covenant song.
As our guide we covenant to welcome the stranger, encourage one another, to honor diversity and ask questions lovingly. With love as our guide we covenant to seek understanding, to listen together, trusting in all of us as our hearts beat differently. With love in our hearts we covenant to keep faith and remain as we begin again and again to light our chalice fire, to this we aspire. As we begin again, to light our chalice fire, to this we aspire.
Give me one quick second, make sure I got the last hymn queued up. So Namoli worked with us with Desert Voices for several years. She wrote a lot of great songs during that time, including a couple she wrote for us. And you'll get to hear one that she wrote that we learned later. That's coming up towards the end of the service. And then for some reason, she got a bee in her bonnet and moved off to Iowa. But we are thrilled and pleased and very excited to welcome her back. There's a concert this afternoon in which she will be doing a whole lot more, and a number of different songs as well too, I am sure. And I encourage you to attend this afternoon. We'll have a slide for it later, and I'll give you that. Don't want to give away too much too soon. I'll tell you all about that later. But it is, once again, my great pleasure to welcome Namoli Brennet.
I don't know why, even when I'm looking right at that piece of paper and it says Namoli Brennet here, there's still a part of me that's like, but is it now? Is it now? Is it the wrong time? So I appreciate the clear cues. I recently put out an album which is all songs inspired by painters and paintings. And yeah, it's kind of a new thing for me. And yeah, it's great because I get to learn a lot about all these great artists and their complicated lives. And so I'm going to do a song which is by a painter named Janet Sobel, who is not well known, I don't think. And I think we have a slide of, oh, there it is. She started painting in her 40s, and she has a complicated history where she lost her father and her parents in one of the Russian pogroms in the 1920s. But I just was really taken with her story and her painting, and also the title, Heavenly Sympathy. I thought, how could that not become a song? So.
Cover me with angel wings and other soft and pretty things. Protect me from all wickedness, 'cause I am small, this world is vast. I need heavenly sympathy. Look on me with mercy now, 'cause all these years have worn me down. Save me from my own mistakes. I am unsteady, this world it shakes. I need heavenly sympathy, 'cause that night falls heavy when it comes, and I trade all my cleverness for a song. There is a balm in Gilead. Light the way with golden beams and other bright and holy things. Chase the noise off with song and harp, 'cause I am soft, this world is sharp. I need heavenly sympathy. I need heavenly sympathy.
Thanks. Heavenly Sympathy. I've been thinking about why artists do what we do, and sometimes in the present day it feels like, well, what this small thing that we do, does it matter? And because I've been spending a lot of time writing songs, you know, and I think, is that good use of my time in the world? Are there more important things I should be doing? But then just this past week, I thought, there's so much falseness in the world and so many untrue things being thrown at us on a daily basis, and we know it. And I thought, as artists, one small thing we can do is to flood the zone with meaningful things and to flood the zone with good and true things. And that felt like a good use of my time. So this is a song inspired, there it is, inspired by a painting by Mark Rothko. And he started off doing sort of regular paintings and was actually pretty good at it. And then he just got, this is what he did for decades. And there's something about them, I think he spoke of them as doors. And if you ever get the chance to see one in a museum, it's kind of a spellbinding experience. And so I just named the song after the painting because I wanted people to know what the painting was. Beyond Earth's sky, there lies something much more. And you arrived and painted us these doors. Behold the architect, cathedrals and rosettes, mind us pirouettes, then knows true rest. Before these colors for directions fall, a bridge from here to the ethereal. The mind floats into space, a vast and holy place, to the birth of form and shape. The potter's wheel, the maker's clay. Beyond expression beckons the threshold, the complex and sublime in red and gold. Thanks. I'm not sure if this next song has any place in any kind of a church service. But I liked the song, and it's. Do we have a? Oh, there it is. It was inspired by Georgia O'Keeffe and her love of the Southwest, and my personal love of the Southwest. I'm going to file it under true and meaningful things and just say it's going to work. Though Santa Fe
heaven's gold. If you ever hear the call, you'd be lucky to get lost in a liminal romance with this ghost ranch. Dry, dusty branches and bleached bones. I can love them as well as any home. So if you ever hear the call, you'd be lucky to get lost in a liminal romance with this ghost ranch. Hey, hey. The light here, even when it's faint, gives more colors than I even have paints. So if you ever hear the call, you'd be lucky to get lost in a liminal romance with this ghost ranch. Ghost ranch. Hey, hey.
Thank you.
So much, Namoli. It's one of those amazing things when you don't hear somebody for a while, or we haven't been together in more than a decade now. But honestly, you just keep getting better. And while I've been following you and getting your albums as they come out, there's nothing compares to hearing them live. So thank you so much. And if you would, please, one more time. One more hymn we sing together, number 323 in our gray hymnal and also on the screen, Break Not the Circle. Would you rise and sing?
the living. Come wonder at this love that comes to life, where words of freedom are with humor spoken, and people keep no score of wrong and right, but without human bonds remain unbroken. Join then the movement of the love that frees, till people of whatever race or nation will truly be themselves, stand on their feet, see eye to eye with laughter and elation.
Wow, right? I walked in this morning and my heart was actually breaking. I was very much in a place of numbness. I mean, I said hi, I smiled, I think I was able to be present to some extent. But one of the things that really today helped me, well, let me start with, it's so easy to wallow in anger and fear. And it's so easy to stay in that anger and fear and let it be stagnant. And it gets overwhelming because it's so painful. And it's easy to dissociate. And it's understandable, right? Because who wants to sit with that pain? Who wants to know that earlier this week we had a Rohingya gentleman, a blind, disabled, older man who was left on the streets by Border Patrol? Who wants to know that earlier this week, Kansas enacted an anti-trans law that invalidated the licenses and birth certificates of over 100 people? Who wants to sit with the targeting of an elementary school in Iran? And so it's heavy and it's painful. And it should hurt because pain tells us when something is wrong. And it gives us an opportunity to sit and decide what we need to do with it. And sometimes it's easy to sit and numb out and dissociate. And yet we can't. Because if we are a people of love, then it is our responsibility to act from that love. So Namoli, thank you. Today broke me a little bit more, and I needed that. So thank you. Today's releasing, we transform the future in many, many ways. So quick reminder about announcements. I know there's so much wonderful things that are going on in this congregation. And announcements, sometimes people come to me and say, how come this announcement didn't make it up there? So just a reminder, if you want an announcement to go up there, you have to go directly to Reverend Matthew and let him know, and then he lets us on the PA team know, and we make the slide. So just a quick announcement there. The first announcement, I'll turn it over to Chris.
Well, I already gave you the thumbnail version of it a little bit ago, got ahead of myself. This afternoon, 4 o'clock, Our Savior's Lutheran Church, North Campbell, not terribly far from here, but right on North Campbell. Namoli will be doing a full concert. 4 o'clock this afternoon, Our Savior's Lutheran Church. And I don't know what else I can say about her. If you enjoyed her now, go hear more of her this afternoon.
Today, after service, there will be 2 baskets out there. The woven basket is for our community partnership of the month, Emerge, and the wooden basket is for the works of this congregation. Now, Emerge is an organization that works with domestic violence. Having worked with a lot of survivors of domestic violence, I can tell you it is such a wonderful organization. It offers so much, and they could probably offer a lot more if they had the resources, but they do their best with what they have. And so Emerge is our woven partnership of the month, community partnership of the month. No Kings. We are officially, MVU is going to have a place March 28th on Oracle. and Orange Grove. Yeah. If you are interested in getting involved, please reach out to Reverend Matthew. Let him know there's opportunities in lots of different ways, but we are all looking forward to being a part of it. And today's Releasing the Flame, Loving and Responsible Action by Robert F. Kaufman. We have come together to share our deepest concerns, speaking and singing words of inspiration and hope. We have committed ourselves to do what we can to ease the burdens of those who suffer, to stand for decency and compassion. We have pledged to work for a more wholesome environment for us and for all the generations that will follow. But these are just words. The hymns we sing are just songs. All our reflections are just idle thoughts. When we convert them all into loving and responsible action throughout the week, then and only then will this morning become what we want it to be, a time of worship. Blessed be.
I've asked Namoli to sing one more song by way of closing for us. I'm sorry, I wanted Namoli to sing one more song. This is a song that she sang with us and with Desert Voices many, many times. And it is such a beautiful song. It's called We Belong. Come up and say hi after the service, and Namoli has a beautiful merch table that has her last 3 CDs and t-shirts and stickers and a couple of other things, so please come up and say hi.
Can I teach this to you, or are you just kind of like, no, we want to go have coffee? I'll teach it just in case you want to sing it. It's a song I wrote early in my transition when I realized a lot of the support I was getting was not just from queer people and LGBTQ folks, but other people who were marginalized and who understood what it was like to live a different, complicated life. And so the song is called We Belong. And the chorus, the words are, and when the same old voices say that we'd be better off running away, we belong anyway. And it's kind of 3 little phrases. It goes, and when the same old voices say, so do you want to sing that part? And when the same old voices say, this is going to be good, that we'd be better off running away, that we'd be better off running away. We belong anyway. We belong anyway. You've done this before, right? The sing on. This is going to be good, so. Here's to all the tough girls. Here's to all the sensitive boys. We belong. Here's to all the rejects. Here's to all the misfits. You can sing this too if you want. We belong. Here's to all the brains and the geeks. Here's to all the made up freaks. Yeah, yeah. We belong. And here's the chorus. And when the same old voices say that we'd be better off running away, we belong anyway. Here's to all the one-hit wonders, and here's to all the mistakes
minorities, and here's to those who chose diversity. We belong, we belong. And when the same old voices say that we'd be better off running away, we belong anyway. And when the same old voices say that we'd be better off running away, we belong anyway.
All right. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you.